us pray while standing. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for reminding us of this wonderful Sabbath day, for it's a gift from your hands so that we can spend time with you and worship you all day long. And as we are about to begin this afternoon program, be with us, Lord. May the speaker give your wisdom to us through him, and may he be blessed by doing so, and may we be nourished spiritually by the message you have for us through your servant this afternoon. For I've prayed in your holy name. Amen. So, from what I recall, this was more of a discussion. So we're going to just change the setup a little bit, if that's okay with everyone. Yes, no? Yes? Can bring it down? Will it reach? Elder Sentenga, you're most welcome.
Can we blame all this to COVID, or can we pull forward where we can look at each other? Or are you happy where you are? Or we can come closer. I hope you are putting it on Zoom, because I expect some few people from outside this country. I expect some people from US, some people to be attending from somewhere. So kindly continue to Zoom it. Thank you very much. So come. There's no COVID tonight. If you're okay, that's fine. Now, the lady in the green. The lady in the green. If you look at yourself, the lady in the green. I saw somebody lost code rose here this afternoon. The lady in the green, you couldn't match her tonight. That song, I saw you and said, my goodness, what on earth she's talking about? Everybody's excited. I heard the song, then I came running. The lady in the green. I ran. I said, even Natasha can't get this now in her mind. She can't, even a charity. This is nothing to do with ambassadors. That lady in green, one stanza, please. Here. The lady in green, you must learn to speak languages. That lady in green. Rosette. Rosette, please, here. This is all yours. I don't know. How many standards? All! I'll tell you what. I saw even Papa Bob trying to say, wait a minute, I sang that song. This is unique. Very thoughtful of you. Thank you very much. I'm not recording. If you record it or if you do anything, it will be good. Because some people will need a copy. You can't be shaking hands. Okay. Same song. Not another one. No, that one. You will come for another session for that alone.
Gwe omukumimbulira. Let's go. Gwe omukumimbulira obudde buli kumpi.
You can sing it in English.
Bubone. I don't know it in English. Bwobwali bulabise. Yesu alijamangu emabya yiyo ensala wesibe.
What number is in English?
Ebyambalo byo golokoka bukedde omusana gweyongera okwaka mu kkubo lyo bubonero buli watu obula g'okujja kwe
Ekondere.
livuze banazo kukawona ababe bonna abafanga bamba dobutafa omusana gujama gusabiti ya jubiri bonna bogera wamu ti obwaka
I think should be the one, eh?
bakabujje
368. 368 in English. 368 in English.
kanani yaffe eja neyeru saleme kijjanga kyaka yakana nnyo laba kibuga kya zaabu atudde ku ntebe ye kabaka ow'ekitiibwa afuga ensi zonna ku nsozi ez'omusana ogwaka obulungi ennyo ku migga egy'ekitiibwa egibunye ebimuli ensi yaffe esembera ey'emirembe ennungi eri kumpi nga nnungi nnyo tunatulanga omwo wulira ennyimba ennungi ziwulirwa mu bbanga abantu bangi bayimba tunatera okutuuka wulira ennyimba ennungi
Thank you very much. Can we have a word of prayer now?
Let's pray. Precious loving Father in heaven, we thank you, Lord, for the gift of life you've given us. We thank you for this beautiful moment. We call upon you, Father, to come and be with us. Open our ears to listen, and through all the speakers, may you be the one to speak to us. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Well, if you don't know, the news yesterday was very good. Wasn't it? What was it about? The builders are, and the song is now here. It marks the borders are what? Hey, if you don't know, then come and listen to the song. The border is now what? Did you hear the song? We are almost reaching there. That's what it is. In English, it's Watchman, la 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 la. Watchman, which is 368, I think. Right. Good afternoon. This morning we had a very interesting discussion. This afternoon, presentation this afternoon is a discussion. I want 10 volunteers, young men, to stand up. Just volunteers. 10, come here. 10 men. You are not sure? You're not sure about, I haven't said anything. Somebody count them for me. If there are 10, stop there. I don't want a married person. Married person, bow out. You are disqualified. You are too. Bob, why are you counting yourself out? Why? Are they 10 now? Including him out? 10 young ladies on this side, please. Hey! You are not sure of yourselves. Rosie, Melody, Rosie, the green lady, abakobwa bijja ngo ni inkumi ngo umukobwa ndi inkumi hano. Irene, hano inkumi mwese, uko muri abatatonga muri inkumi, come here. Come here. You're missing the game, you know. Come here. Come. Abone bangahe? There are 7. We still, hey, stand up. Okay, Mebo. Come. So long as you are not married, because I don't want your husband to fight me. Dibanga habo? Are they 10? You don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stay. Right. Only one paper, please. Somebody must have 2. Are they 2? Watchman, la 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 la, la 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 la. Come sta andando? La 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 la. There's someone with the two papers. La 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 la. Okay, right. Melody, you made it there. Okay. Do me a favor. Number ones come here. If you have a card written number 1, come here. Face them. If you have a card written number 2, come here. Come here if you are number 2, please. Oh, next to number 2. Hey, what's wrong with you? Who is number 3? Here, number 3. Amen. Here, next to Charity. Number 4. Yes. Okay. Okay. Number 5. Don't make conclusions. I'm not saying anything. 5. Yo, imani shimu. 6. Abakobwa wali. Come here. Shy lady here. Stay there. 6. 7. Next to Irene. 7. The man in the muscles. 8. Hano. Shy lady. Come here. Okay. 9. Oh, Rose. And 10. 10. All of you go upstairs now, all of you. Stand with your person. Don't leave your person. Don't leave your person. Don't leave your person. And no, don't form ideas. I'm asking you just to stand. These are our deacons, so don't say nothing. Okay, stand where you are. Now, okay. Look at the person you chose. Mundebere. Mwamubonye? Hari icyo mupfana? Are you in the same brother? Is your brother your sister? Abantu bashakana? All right. Don't get ideas. I hope you're not taking these things serious. Me, right. This afternoon, we are going to talk something very important. We are talking about failed marriages. Why are marriages failing even here in Kigali? Why? It's a Western concept. Your mothers and fathers stayed there until they threw them apart. They had so many children, they didn't have money, but they had resilience, kwihangana, until some of them are there, some of them, but they stayed. Do you know what I mean? Celebrating 50 years or 60 years, if God kept them there, they were there. Do you understand? Why do we have this game? I come in, 2 days later, I'm out. Because you promised to be buying me chips every day. Now that the money is not there to buy me chips, I'm out of this house. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. I have no interest in him anymore. Do you understand? We came here, made a wedding. All the way from UK. Paid so much money. The girl said, I want an open car. The girl said this. The girl told personally me. He says, once after marriage, all I need is a visa and a ticket, and I'm gone. Everything was. And I want a wedding in Lamigo. And I want food. I want the best car in Kigali. We did all of that. We paid the dowry. Everything was done. Honeymoon in Zanzibar. Came back. The guy came back because he had to come back, process the visa, process the ticket, gave it to her. She said, after I got a wedding coming, in June for my cousin, can I attend that? Yes. After that, can I have divorce, please? I'm not coming. Do you see what? I mean, you wouldn't forgive anybody like that. I mean, you yourself. I am not interested in you anymore. You haven't even been together. Do you understand? You haven't even been together. I am not interested in you anymore. They came to the court here, wherever they go. And the man said, what are you doing to this young man? What is the problem? What has he done? Nothing. So what is all this about? I'm not interested. Young man, what do you want as a refund? I only need a ticket and a visa. Not in one. Had that, she disappeared. Nothing paid. Is that the sort of marriage? How many of us here would like to have a marriage till death do them part in front of God and his witnesses? How many would like to have a wedding and a marriage that will last despite the challenges? And they are putting their hands like this. Put it up so that God can see it. Yes. You want to have a marriage where you are going to stay. Despite the challenges, you will use your knees to fight that battle. You will use your knees and pack a koboki until, and then you get what? That marriage goes through thick and thin. Amen? We will pray for you that. So if we all want, so what I said, let me now conclude so that people can sit down. There is nothing wrong if these two got married. Why should you go and fish Mumutala or somewhere else when so many people are in these shoes? Mutaziran. No blood relationship, nothing. We have beautiful girls here and good Christian girls here and good Christian boys in this church. Amen? And let me tell you something else. Yes, you can clap. We have beautiful girls here. There is no reason. Number 5. Where is number 5? Put your hand. There you are. Number 8. There you are. What can you say? Number 1. Hey! Number 2. All tall people. Number 3. 4. Natasha, 3. There you are. 4. Do. 6. There you are. 7. There you are, with a muscle man around you. No one will come to that house. Look at that man. 8. 9. There you are. The music in your house is sorted. When I'm with Zaro, they just sit down and listen to music. That's it. That's nothing else. 9. 10. Do. Look at even the dress. Look at it. Yujuje ibyangombwa. All I need, let me tell you something. Like somebody was riding his horse, reached an Ethiopian man, told him, there is water here. You remember that story? Why don't you baptize me? There is what? Do you remember the story? Philip, pastor, elder, and the candidate spouse. Go back and sit. Thank you very much. Keep your papers. By all this correspondence sent today. Don't harass anybody. I have not given you permission. I have not given you permission. But what I'm saying is this. We are now going to talk seriously about marriage. There is no good reason why you should sit down and say, Nabuzumugab, I cannot find a man. I cannot find a woman. And these to be true, they are not your sisters. They are not your brothers. They are in Christ. Other than that, let me tell you, the person you know, the person you went to school together in primary, in secondary, in the same church, nursery school, Sabbath school, that person makes the best husband. Trust me. He's like your brother. He's like your sister. And brothers and sisters fight. Do they? Sisters fight. Do they? Brothers and sisters do what? Do they hate each other? Attack one of them. Attack one of them. You see your brother there? You fight like the cats and dogs. But let one person, one of these boys here, come and joke and attack you. That boy will come like a hotline to fight over you until. You get it? So, the person you have grown up together, the number 2 you picked there, the number 10 you picked there, that person will protect you all the way. What I'm saying is this, I'm not campaigning. What I'm saying, it is important even to look among yourselves. Don't allow somebody to come and pick this young man, the handsome young man, and take him all the way to Chirehe when you people are here. Sit down. Viumba. The boy is going all the way to Musanze, and the people are here. You understand? And you attend the wedding and you're happy. Because all these are like my sisters, I don't want to see them. They're like my brothers, we have grown up together, I don't want to see them. You get it? Now, I want you to talk to me now. Why do marriages fail? You have all friends who have been disappointed in their marriage. You have all friends you have supported through and through, but for some reason, that marriage has failed. Like the one I've just told you, and broken your heart. Say, if marriage is like this, then I don't even want to go there. There's sometimes when you come to that conclusion. This boy and this girl were so happy. They made such a wonderful wedding. But you say, if so and so have parted the company, then I don't want any wedding of that nature. I can better stay. Do you understand? It gives a bad impression. But you talk to people. When I put out this conversation across to many of you, and by the way, let me announce, we have among you a group that I deal with on a daily basis. And they know themselves. And I want you, when you come out, please greet me and introduce yourself to me, because some of you I don't know. But this group, 220 international youth, we meet on a daily basis. And they do devotions. And I want to thank them so much, because they do so much. We have survived through COVID. Some of them, I write to them a letter full of blood and say, I want my devotion today. Don't tell me nothing. And I have a fight with them. And they send a devotion, whether they like it or not, and they share the word of God. Do you understand? And somebody else along the world, and somebody said, oh, I like that devotion. It helped me today. I feel so good. And you have given, you don't even know you have saved somebody. So if you are not on that forum, international one, this SDA, of those ones, Natasha, Myrodi, very many of, how many are members here on that forum? She? Very many. So there. So please, let's take a chance to preach. You understand? No time, let's take a chance to do what? To preach. All these are administrators. Now, why do marriages fail? I think to save time, I'll say something. The reason is many of you wrote back. So when I put these questions across 200 people, I got responses. And these are the ones that I want to use, but you can add as we talk. They said, not knowing each other well, a lot of times the true personality may be hiding. So number one meets number one. You get it? And everyone has an agenda. But the most important agenda would be, till death do us. God, I'm going on my knees. I want somebody to marry. I want somebody faithful. So you have your standards. You have set up what you have set up. Now, a lot of young people, they look at completely different agenda. So, not knowing each other very well why is it important to know each other very well? That means you have courtship, you have dating, you know this person very well. That's why I was saying, some of these people in this church, you know from nursery. You know how they are annoyed, you know what they can do, you know how good and bad. You might think, oh, they're too familiar. They know me too much. I don't want anybody who knows me too much. That's also acceptable. But even the parents know you too much, isn't it? So, do you know the advantage? The advantage in that? If you two disagree and fight, then they say, on this side, the lady has been aunt. On this side, the one has been aunt. Now they are going to be mother-in-laws. You get it? So they say, okay, you two are fighting. You go this side, they know you very well. You go this side, they know you very well. So they said, okay, go back. We don't want anything. Go back. Put your house in order. Put your house in what? In order. Then they talk to you. You cry on this side, but you come back. They build you up slowly by slowly until you reach at that stage where you are mature enough to handle the children, to handle the stress of work, to handle the stress of cooking. You go back, isn't it? So, because you know each other very well. However, sometimes it's not possible to just marry there. You go elsewhere. Now, knowing you each other very well, even if you got somebody in Canada or in the UK, we have boys there, they are good, and girls, they are very good. They are also looking. So don't shy. Don't shy. They also do what? They are looking for. They come here, just make sure. But the only difference is that those boys up there and the girls, they can tell you, is one thing. They don't know maybe the language and tactics of here. They don't know. They are so straightforward that they don't know how to lie, how to cheat. Some of them will just simply come and say, that's a good girl, yeah. I think let me write or send a message, and you don't reply, and they send a message or what? They say, she's not interested in me. Let me go on to another person. They are that straight. Because maybe they don't have that tactics. So what I'm saying is, God can provide you a man and a wife from any place and any angle. Amen? But when you go in, you know that this institution is not an institution of games in, games what? Out. It is an institution which is serious, which was created by God for a purpose. Whether you have a child there or you don't have a child, God said, stay there. Did you get it? So, knowing one another very well means, how much do I know this girl? How much do I know this boy? It's not enough to say, oh my goodness, she's so beautiful. Did you see her? Oh my God, what a girl. I'll be so lucky to have her. That's not enough, because that beauty at one time it will disappear. Isn't it? Oh boy, did you see that guy? He has money. The boy has money. He's loaded. I tell you, he's what? The boy is loaded. When we go out, he brings a car and picks me, takes me places. Do you understand? The boy, don't tell me anything else. The Christianity out of the window, everything is out of the window. Where he comes from now, is out of the window. The boy has what? Money. You don't care where he comes from. The boy has what? Whether he has another girl who is saying the same game. The boy has money, you don't know. He could be having another girl saying, that boy has money. And he's moving so many at the same time. Do you understand? But that's why Paul, knowing one another. Are you marrying money? Are you going there for money? Where you are coming from? Don't they have money? Don't you even work? Do you understand? What if the guy is actually drunk? Because you don't know him much. Because these ones here, they're your brothers. You don't even want to know number one or number two here I gave you. You don't. Now this boy has come all the way from somewhere. What is if he's driving his friend's car? Is that possible? He could have borrowed the car. Is it possible? I'm telling you something. This girl, this boy, somebody was telling me a story. True story in this country. The boy wanted this girl very much to marry. So, he actually asked her to visit him so he can know where he stays. And unknown to the girl, the boy was asking this young man, please lend me your house. Lend me your what? Your house. I have a visitor. So because we are friends, he says, that's nothing. Come and entertain your visitor. So the guy would come, you know, the girl comes, oh my goodness, pampers her up. That's a true story. And she was not coming from a poor family. She was coming from a rich family. The boy was poor, but he had a deceptive strategy. You remember the strategy in the morning? Not like Esther. She had a deceptive strategy. Finished, marriage. Come to the friend. I will borrow your house, so we are going to stay here. And that's how it was. It's a true story. Stayed in that house. Of course, the owner thought, after marriage, you need to stay somewhere like a honeymoon 1 week. I said, hey, excuse me, I need my house. I need my what? House. And the girl said, what is he talking about? I thought this is our house. The deception will not last long. The deception will have to be, the strategy was not working anymore. They were chucked out. The parents of the girl said, she told them the story, says, how can you stay with a man of that nature? Come home. That was the end of the wedding, the marriage. There are people who lie. There are people who present themselves for what they are not. Did you know that? So in marriage, let me tell you how it used to be. Not our time, not my time, my father's time. Abanyarwanda. Do you know how they used to do? This is how it used to be. I reach a marriageable age of this young, anyone of up there, marriageable, they used to marry young, marriageable age. Now we go, and now the man, not the lady, the man, the parents, our son, I think he has reached the age of marriage. So, we know there is a girl at Elder Mvunyi's house. Okay? Or with the same marriageable age. They don't consider Natasha. They like her. They investigate about the families of Mvunyi. They investigate about my family. Then, now, if that is agreeable that we are okay, then kufatirembo. Then Natasha will be told, we are coming. Who are that? That boy there of so and so, because they know each other. Of so and so. That's how it worked. Now, Natasha and the young man might not have anything to do with it, but it means me, Natasha's parent, that young man's parents, anything to happen to these two, we are responsible. Do you get it? We are responsible. You are not marrying this boy, you are marrying into the family. Do you get it? That's how the Rwandese tradition was. You are marrying into what? The family. So if the two of you are young and the marriage there, and the cows and everything have been settled, what it means now, if there is a misunderstanding and Natasha and the man fight and what have you, the two families come together and solve the problem. If the young man is in a mistake, they say, watch out. And people who say are your parents. Anything to happen to that girl again, you are gone. Because anything, when you fought, Natasha would pack her bags and go to her parents. When you, to go and get Natasha from there, your father will bring you like this, all the way. And if you are wrong, you are given a punishment. You pay something, a cow or something. Until you are what? You come back and Natasha will say, okay, I'm protected. You can fight tomorrow, but you understand. But these days, do parents matter really? No? Why? So we are going to hold a conversation. So this time, because you are met in English church here, or somewhere in the university, all you do is, I think I like this girl. She's so beautiful. She's finished. She's working. Oh, I think I like this boy. He's like this. He's handsome. He's finished. He's working. I think the two of us can make. The parents are not involved at all in these negotiations. Some people leave it too late. Are wrong, because I don't know. They will disturb me. Since you are not a singer, since you are not Adventist, since you are they will disturb me. So you leave it until When you are alive and say, I have found a good girl, or I have found a husband, you say, oh, okay, that's good news. We've been praying for that. And who is that young man? The so and so. Hey, you know our people. How do you say, Njirahe? Who are the parents? How do you say, Njirahe? I'll give you the answer. Where do you go to church? My father wants to know. Which one? So, what you are saying, Daddy, Mommy, what I want is a rubber stamp. Don't ask me too many questions. What I want is what? Blessings. Rubber stamp. Go ahead. What are you now? They were saying, I don't know. But he's good. Has a good job. Now, if you are going by force, because it is force, some parents will not argue for the sake of peace. Then they will say, go. Whether they like it or not, what are you going to do about it? Either they say absolutely no, which is a curse. You get it? And most people will not do that. Mama said to be gentle. They agree among themselves. When you go there and disagree on a simplest thing and you want out, then you wonder, why are people breaking marriage? Because it does not have a blessing. Even some of your friends did not approve this guy because they know him. Some friends can come to you and say, but Natasha, you are making we are not jealous, but this guy, let's observe him. Let's take time to know him. Let's investigate because we met in Ibutare, so let's investigate to see where exactly does it. You don't even know, some of you don't even know where they come from. They're just presenting a face in the town here. So you have not done enough. You have not said, can I take you home? Come and visit me. Can you take me home? And you go and see your mother and your father and your parents. Can I know your family? Do you understand? So some of your friends might say, that boy, we don't know much about him. That girl, we don't know much about him. And say, listen, I know you are jealous in your heart. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything. That boy is, because love is blind. They say, the English people, love is what? When you are tuned, especially the girls, when they are in tune, that's it, everything is just irrelevant. Even that money doesn't matter. Everything else is what? Irrelevant. The boy, where he leads me, I will follow. Where boy is, you don't know where that boy is what? And you don't even know. You are following who? Blindly. Your needs, your prayers go out of the window. Now, does it matter whom we know? That's what I've just said. Any comments on that? Is it important to know someone? Is it? Is it important for your parents to know someone? And close friends whom we trust, is it important to know them? Yes. So that was one reason which was put up. Because again, is it easy to hide who you are in your courtship for some time? A hardy donkey and you know, but you hide who you are. And nobody can know, and the boy cannot know who you are because you prefer to not show him who you are. Is it possible to hide your character? Natasha, what do you think? How? Huh? You can decide to show only good side. Right. Do we have any married couples here who are young people with a high wife or anybody here? No. Wanted to use them to ask them how they met and all that. Okay. That was one reason which was given. So, if marriage is built on pretense, It's like a house built on the sand. When the wind comes, the house will do what? Fall. Because your grandparents and most of your parents, it was built on a foundation where both families stood up and said, yes. So you marry into a family, not to an individual. You marry into an individual if your parents were used as rubber stamp and bring the boy home, whether you like it or not. That's it. I've decided. Is this girl or nobody else? Get it? So, that's a house built what? On sand. When the wind comes, and it will, marriage is not a bed of roses. You'll have disagreement. People do have disagreement. But when you hear people have broken up in 2-3 years or less than that, that means most of the time there are some other reasons here. They never knew themselves so much. If you are looking for what qualities do matter. What sort of God am I looking for? What sort of boy am I praying for? When I kneel down and pray, my friends, what sort of boy am I praying for? A girl. The qualities, you might not get them 100%, because nobody has 100%, is it? No. People change, people grow out of habits. Yes, people grow. But you can say, God, at least he's a Christian. At least I needed somebody who is educated enough, maybe a beautiful girl, a beautiful boy. I need some few qualities that I'm looking for. You understand? Those qualities are very, very important. That at least no one is perfect. However, some people, as I said, they look at beauty alone. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm going to do. Did you see his muscles? God. Did you see the guy? He is tall and handsome. When he walks around beside me and I walk like this and he walks like that, that's the one, nobody else. Everything else doesn't matter. Do you understand? He's tall, is the one we're looking for. I'm not saying tall people are bad. They are very good. I'm not saying muscular people are bad. They are very good. However, you must look for more than beauty, more than the height, more than the money. Do you understand? There are some other values you should emphasize. If I marry this man, are we going to sit down and have God gives us children? Am I going to sit down with my children and we sing together in the house and praise God and be able to have a fellowship in our house, devotion in our house? Because that's beyond money. Because even poor people pray and they live a happy life. Did you know that? We live such a stressful life in the Western world. So stressful. Sometimes when you go up country, they are holding, you people in the town, you don't know how much your fathers and mothers are living a stressful life. You don't know. Very stressful. Looking for money, looking for it. But you go outside in the local churches. When you find that old man, your mother and father, those sides, singing happily, they don't know whether there's a TV in the house. They don't even care because they can't afford it. They don't have a phone. The children will reach the age of 19. They have not been bought a phone because there is no money. But when they come out of their house, they are laughing and singing that song we have been singing here. Do you know those people in the village? Hey, the visitors come home, they will feed them, even you understand? Those people have less stress. Sometimes I sit down and I say, I wish I take all these people to London and they give me that glass-thatched house, and because they are happy. Do you understand? Happiness is in the Father's name. Happiness is not in me driving a competitive car. If you don't buy that car, I'm not going to church. Did you see what Bob was driving? Yes. And he's a new lady. Do you think I'm not married to you? Yeah. So do you think I'm supposed to go on a motor to go to the church there? I'm not going. Full stop, I'm not going. I need a car which is presentable. Where Bill's car will be parked and this young man's car will be parked, I park mine and they say, yes, this girl really got married. Do you get it? That will not buy you happiness. It will not buy you happiness. Happiness, Western world, people have money. Let's talk about money. People have money. Those stars you always watch. You always watch stars? They have money. Footballers. The footballers, 18, 19, 20, they are earning 100,000 pounds a week. If he says, I want to buy this building, and he's only 18, he'll pay it one salary. Not 1 month, 1 week or 2. Are they happy? Maybe drugs. To sleep. In order to sleep, they have to take something to help themselves. So don't be deceived by the movies, other things you see, and you think you live in that fantasy world. The man in that local village there in Musanze and his wife will be much more happier in their marriage than somebody in Kigali here who has more money, more TVs, beautiful house, and not happy. Do you get it? Happiness is how you make it. The two of you holding hands and say, yes, we will make, even if you sit on this and sleep in one bedroom flat and cook in the same place and sleep on, and your visitors sit on your bed because there is no chair. Yeah, don't laugh. Some of us went through that, Natasha. Don't. Charity, when I got married, I was only a student. A student at Baraton. Have you ever heard of Baraton? And people said, okay, we like you, because I used to help them with football and other things. But when I got married, I couldn't live in a boarding school, so I had to get a room outside. Somebody says, I'll buy you shoes for the wedding. Another person, I'll buy you a suit. Another person said this. Another person said, I'll get a car. Another person I said, oh, the wedding is finished. One said, we'll make a cake. And we went and had a wedding. Now I'm bringing a bride who has never been to Baraton. And she has just graduated as a nurse. So she thinks she's going somewhere in Baraton. Oh. So I'm going, and I said, and she's a daughter of a pastor. So the wedding is over. Now we are going to our beautiful house. One room, Hari Isijimulai is that cook in Babura. That's the one she will cook on first. Okay? And our bed is our chair. I'm a student, I don't have anything. So you serve food and you sit on this bed and talk. Then I said, God, now you help me this now. This is now too much for me. I'm bringing my bride to Rajiye. Some people have brought us, then I'm sitting down, then we sit down. I said, where exactly are we going? I said, we have arrived at our destination. We have arrived at our destination. We students, married quarters are there. Are we going there? No. This one here. This is the key you are going to use. I've left my job there. Say, you decide now. And we lived there happily after. So when the visitors came to see the Umujeni, they sat on the same bed. And they used the mbabula outside to cook. Do you understand? Then we finished. Now I didn't have a job. Because you have to look for a job when you graduate, don't you? Do you go straight into the job? No. But 35 years on, we are here. Do you understand? God will bless you. If you get a man who has money, and you get a woman who has money, and you all live happily, the best. But don't worship money. Don't go in because of what he has or what she has. A poor man will make a marriage. A poor wife, stars, the movies you watch, those ones are Nigerian, those are fabricated. People make money for showing you those movies. Don't think your marriage is going to be based on the movies you watch. Those ones are just fantasies. You move in with this man after said, I do. If you want to keep your husband, don't look at the outside pressure. Just simply say, now listen. This is where we are. And no, don't just go in blindly. You should have known whether the man is renting the house, not Instagram. Whether the man is renting the house before. All these things, you should know them. Don't just go because it will shock you and you want to stay in the marriage. Is this your house, or you are borrowing that house like the other one? So you should know. Can I see how do you pay, or how much do they? Use your wisdom God gave you to get all the information. No, go home and know this is Elder Peter's place. I know where it is. I know this. Do you mind if I take you home? Visit. So you know the sisters, you know the brothers, you know the family you're going to invest yourself into. If it's a different church in bilingual, you know where the church we are going to be. Do you understand? If the personal prayer, it won't take long before you know that this man is not serious. The reasons why marriages break is that people don't consider all those things. So, I will give you a bit of time to comment. Let me just rush quickly. Unmet expectation is what we have covered. You expect so much, but so little comes. Issues of incompatibility. You come together and you marry, but you're not, I tell you, you are opposite. You can't force, you are just opposite in everything. You cannot say it will work out. It will work out itself. You don't change people. It will not work out. If you're not compatible together, it will not do what? Work out. It will not work out. So, don't go there because you know. The other thing that break marriages, issues of unfaithfulness. You are now a married man and a married woman. The question comes, and I want to put it across to you. What happens to your old friends? How are you going to deal with? He had a set of friends. How are you going to deal with that? Bob, how are you going to deal with a set of old friends? You had some girls who are interested in you at time. Now you are married. You have some boys who used to hang out together. Now you are married. Now you are married. How are you going to solve this? How are you going to deal with the old friends you had now? You dump them, you stay with them, you do what? How are you going to handle this? Anyone who can tell us? It doesn't matter. You can just give your ideas. You haven't been there. No one of you have been there. No one of you is married. But in your own thinking, or in some people you have observed. Rose, how are you going to handle that? Stand up and talk a little bit aloud. No, I'm not putting anybody on spot because Rose hasn't been there. But in her own way, how she would think I will solve this problem. How would you do that? Yeah, so they see you. Or use it. Yeah, please, if it is there. Oh, it's not working. Eh?
I was saying that creating strong boundaries, so having limitations of when you meet with them, how you interact with them, which types of environments you surround yourself with them, if you fall into that. So, yeah, I think that's
Yes. Anyone want to add? Okay. I think Rose has mentioned a very important point. Creation of boundaries. Okay. What I'm getting from Rose is A and B get married, wife and husband. Before even they get married, they sit down and say, look, we all have friends. The friends are coming to your wedding, you know that? Because you can't leave an island, you go friends. We all have friends. Now, because that question I was asked when we were a couple which was going to get married. I was counseling them and say, and the girl said, I'll just come, go to my friends. I cannot ditch my friends. I'll stay with my friends. And the boy said, I'll stay. So, Rose had a set of friends. They could be boys, they could be girls. In Kigali English Church, they have grown up together. They are her friends. The young man has also a set of friends. Some are his ex-girlfriends, some are what? He has friends, all right? Now, the two of you are husband and what? You got to talk before and say, wait a minute. Because the girl was saying, me, I'll keep my friends. I'll come and have time for them. The young man was saying, you and I, we are together, now let's create a new set of friends. But you can't ditch the old ones. Do you understand? But Rose has mentioned a very important point. Yes, we shall have friends. However, there must be boundaries. There is a place for my friends, and there is a friend for my new husband. That's what she's saying, isn't it? It is very true because familiarity breeds concept. This is what it means. Rose, along with the marriage, he had friends who are boys, she had friends who are girls, they have grown together, they are close friends. They have actually contributed much to our wedding. Do you understand? She can't just simply say off. However, Rose and her husband, new husband, after some time, a few challenges come in, as they normally do. Then Rose, the first people she will think about, and Natasha. The first people she will think about is that young man, Bob. They have grown up together. Another one she will think about is the number she picked today with a boyfriend, ex. And those ones listen attentively at every sentence. Natasha might listen and say, Rosa, come on. Let's try. Give it a try. Let's pray for her. Let's pray together. But the ex-boyfriend, this one sitting here, will say, What happened? Yeah, he did that. Then she will give you a shoulder to lie on and cry. Oh, then you will see. Do you get it? If you don't create boundaries, the exes will come in and entertain your every small thing. You send a text. It becomes your cancer now. You send what? No, you must young movies. Another time, but we wanted to go to somewhere to eat lunch. You know, this guy cannot even take you out. You begin to remember how the other one used to splash money on you. Do you get it? And now you are beginning to develop an idea that one I left was a lie. You're falling in a trap unknowingly. This one who says, but mom, we cannot afford every time. Because some of you girls expect a life that cannot be sustained. If you go, today we want to go to Chibuye. Today I want to entertain so and so. Today I want to blah, 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 blah. You cannot entertain that movie sort of life. If I said, Zimbabwe, she could say, no, I want a new cook. You go at your own pace, not the pace of your neighbor. And somebody married to A who are rich. You go at the pace of your own self. And you set boundaries. We hear your ears. I tell my friend says, Murechi, I told you that man is. Don't go back to that person. Don't go back to that person. I only told you I didn't want to solve my problem. Thank you. I only told you. But if you are say, leave the man or the man, and if the other man, the former boyfriend, former girlfriend, the former girlfriend will say, I have more money. Come and see. Come and tell me. That's the former girlfriend. You are going back to. She will be very attentive. And when you go to the other one will be telling how the children suffered today. And she was so frustrated. And the other one says, leave her. You are breaking your what? That's what breaks the families. So cheating, keeping all your friends, or just bad habits. But good old friends are excellent. You can call upon them, you can pray with them. They can accommodate you, they understand you. They can counsel you. They can say, stay in. Stay in. Let's work together, this thing will help you. Stay in. Okay? But again, they have a boundary. You can't keep bringing this young lady because she was your friend. She's still single and she's still attractive to your husband every day. Do you understand? Every day you bring her, okay, come here. I'm coming to your house. When it comes to your house, she combs more than she was combing before. She combs her hair, she perfumes better than she was before because she's going to bring to Rose's place. But the interest is not made in Rose. Probably the transport she will get. And she has somewhere. So, the two of you can create friends, a new set of friends, married friends, that you can share things together because you have challenges together. There are couples you can work with. Your age, 5 years, 2 years. There are couples you admire, they are doing very well. Do that. Not that you are going to leave these old friends, but let them have space, their own time. Do you understand? But much better if the new couple is getting married to the next one with 5 years, they have babies, they are experiencing, they have something to share with you. These ones who will smart themselves before they see your husband, hey, don't joke with those ones. Okay. If you know each other, there's what we call control freaks, control problems, personality issues. If somebody is, even when you are meeting, this person doesn't give you space. This person doesn't allow you to sleep. 20 messages every 2 minutes. Where are you? You haven't been ringing me. Let me tell you girls, don't harass boys like that. You haven't been ringing me. Now I think you are with somebody. Every 2 minutes, even in the church, you are sending messages. You boys run away from such a girl. Don't even look back. However beautiful, say, okay, thank you, bye, see you later. Because that control business is no good. You get married to this fellow, you never give your breathing space. I've been at work, you have not rung me. I've been where? You have not sent me a text. Where have you been? The person will give you headache. Do you get it? And that will not stop there. If he's controlling you before you say, I do, what happens when you say, I do? Do you think you'll come out of that marriage? It's not easy because you will, and such control people will give everything you want. But the first thing they will do is to cut you off your friends. Those girls, I don't want to see them. They spoil you. How much did you want today? They spoil you. So, please, don't Don't go. So and so is willing to come. My sisters, I let them stay there. They are bringing problems in this house. Before you realize it, you have one baby, you have what? You are pregnant, you have one baby, they cut you off. Now you go to make a phone call in the toilet when you are hiding or when he's not there to talk to mommy. And even to mommy, you don't say much because maybe you came out without any blessing anyway. They had seen that and they said, that boy. Maybe some of your friends have said, that boy is too much controlling. That girl, she's giving you space. She's surrounded yourself so much you cannot breathe. Do you understand? Control issues are worse than anything. Anything. Because people stay miserable. They will never be happy. And even the most educated people will be controlled if you fall under wrong category. You will be controlled, and it will never be easy to come out. Because to the outside world, he's an angel. To your mother and your father, he will bring anything. Kneel down. Everybody else in the church will see this guy. In the contributions or whatever, handle some money. It is only you who knows where the shoe pinches. You reach a time when you say you are even as a stick, lost weight. Everybody is praising the Pharaoh, but you cannot even eat and sleep. Because as soon as he comes there, that place is not clean. That food is not cooked properly. Look at the way you make your bed. Everything here doesn't make sense. Where do you come from? Your mother never taught you anything. Some people break their marriage at that stage. Some people get trapped because you've got 2 juniors in that house. Where do you leave them? Do you take them with you? You are trapped. You should know the man even when you're still courting. Wait a minute. Why doesn't he like my friends? When I take him home, why is he pretending to be excellent? But when he's out, he's not. You take him to his home, the way he behaves and the way his people behave, you look at the way the mother is talking to him, his mother, his sisters, and you can say, I'm marrying into trouble. His sisters are madder than himself. The mother is much more controlling than the boyfriend you have gotten. Okay, my son is never fed properly. Look at how thin he is. She doesn't even know how to cook. Now, the mother-in-law who would comfort you is trouble. Watch out before you say, I do. Courtship and dating is very important to know the person. Are we together there? Not everybody who is smiling you is the best person. No, get to know them first. Inadequate financial sources, work, laziness. Sometimes people are lazy. Some people are what? Lazy. They just don't want to push themselves to work. The wife will work, the man will not work. I'm looking for a job. Or vice versa. Some people are naturally very lazy. When they are still your boyfriend and girlfriend, get to know them. See Munu. What does he do for a living? Is he able to save some money? Because you want to probe and get those. You want to probe and get those things out of his head. You want to probe and get that information out of him, out of her. If this girl I marry, how is she? You've become clever. How does she manage her money? How does she live her life? Send spies. Yes. That's how we call strategic what? Strategic what? And the spies are not another girl of your same age who is still looking. Don't do that. Those ones are no good spies. But some of you are respectable among the elders and those senior ladies in the church. And those people can advise you. You get it? I could say, do you know that boy read very well? Few people, you can get information. These days, the world is so information seeking, you cannot miss this information. You can get information until you know where you are going. Because it is supposed to be for life, not in and out. I don't support that. I wouldn't stand here and tell you in and out. You have already put up your hands, and I'm going to count your marriages. As long as God gives me life, I'm going to say Rose is married today. 4 years, 3 years, good. That's 5, 6, 10, 20. That's what we want. So take time. Don't say no all the time to somebody who says no. Kubenga nabyo ni bibi. Muzi kubenga? Have you ever heard of that word? You don't know. It means, that boy, he is really nice, I like him, but he's too short, my God. He means everything, he's even a Christian. But look at the height. Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? So the short one now, Ramubenze, that one is out of the match. And the other one comes along and says, oh. You know, the boy is very quiet. I'm the only one talking in that house. He is too quiet for me. Oh, now Ramubenze. The talkative one who is now, this one comes along and says, hey. He does not give you space. He talks like a loudspeaker. Now Ramubenze. So where are you going? Which one? Just, not everyone will tick the box. You have to say, okay, now that one, at least he can manage our finances very well. That one, we can have worship in our house very well. That one, we can blah, 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 blah. I see a plan where we are going. Do you understand? I see there is a good plan for us. We have agreed after marriage, this is what we want. And these are things that you put in place. Don't wait until then. Our plans are this and this. If I have gone without finishing my studies or this and that, you got to have a plan. Now, when this man has all that, and then you say he's too short, he's too shy, he's too what, then now only one thing will kick the man out of your business. It's not bad to say that. But you have to know that no one will tick boxes 100%. Some of us will never marry because we can't tick boxes. Do you understand? Family interference and external pressure. I repeat what I said last time. That breaks the family, breaks you up. If you are married to this man, and the two shall become one. The father of Bob and the mother have prayed so much for Bob. Bob has gotten this number, this girl. Now, the two have become what? If mother of Bob and the father of Bob are going to rule this house, and your mother and your father from the other side rule this house, do you get it? So, whom are you going to follow? Each one goes to their mother. When there is a problem, each one will go to their mother. Mother, the girl is noisy. Okay, what do I do? Father, yeah, you know what? This boy, Can you send some money to me? Because the boy has eaten all the money, is finished. We are now hungry. Okay, send me money, Mama. The pocket money used to tell, I still need that money. That money is impossible. Doesn't give you anything. So now, mother and father are still supporting you, which is not too bad. But don't abuse it. Don't abuse it. There are issues the two of you should solve. If the external interference is high, if his sisters are coming to your house every time to make noise, my sister is not looked after very well. My son is not fed. Look at him. He's all bones. My brother is like this. You prayed for us? I said, now. Don't cut ties. Mom, on this side, your new mother-in-law is your mother. Don't call her mother-in-law. Is your what? Mother. Son, your new mother-in-law is your mother. You can support both sides. So if you're not careful, in-laws can break. So as we finish, because I have something to say, please disclose. If there's anything you acquired before saying I do, disclose. Means I have debts. Disclose that debt. I have a child outside. Which I got when I was in the secondary school. Which I got when I was in the secondary what? School. Don't spring a surprise. Disclose that child. Do you get it? If you keep quiet, you are now married. Daddy, who is this boy? Turn is up. I need school fees. What? Who is this? Are you going to say it's my uncle's son? Disclose. If you have debts, disclose. If you have credit cards, disclose. A child outside, disclose. Before you go in. He can say no, can say yes, but it's better to disclose. Okay. Right. Now, question time now. What do you think marriage life is like? And what plans should we go in to avoid divorce? It is the happiest moment of your life. When you're arranging your wedding, it's the happiest moment of your what? Life. But what I can say, keep this man, keep this new lady as a contract between you and God and this new person. Till death do us what? In sickness and in what? Health. In poverty and prosperity. If for some reason the money that this young man had has disappeared, bring in your man and say, I'm still earning, darling. Don't even think about it. I'm your wife. I will support you. Don't say, excuse me, my money is my money. You are the man in this house. You are supposed to provide the money. But the job is finished. So use your money to pay the rent. What's the problem with that? Are you not one? If you are one, the man has been chucked out of the job. What are you going to do about it? Okay. Now, tell me now, what should we do about what is happening to these marriages which are breaking? Why? Why are the marriages breaking? So we can finish on that. And are you able to go above and about when you get your own? What are some of the reasons that people have told you? if they have not been covered in this conversation? How are you planning to make it work? If somebody asked you, I am going to get married, what would you tell them? Do we have some men here and some ladies? Irene, tell us, where you go, what do you think? What do you think? Is marriage a good thing? All those who think it is good, put up your hand. Yes, it is a good thing. It's God designed. It is God what? Designed. So how are you going to make yours different from the person who broke the other time? These are the equipment we are giving you. Any hand? Anyone who can add something? Yes, yeah. That young man there. Stand up. Yes. Tell us something. Come here and tell us something. Mumumbera mashari.
So for me, I've liked all the comments you've shared with us, but mostly I think the problem is the world has changed.
Yes, sir.
Before, like you've told us before, we're involved, but now we have to do it ourselves because of, I don't know, for whatever reason. Then, you talked about pretense. Even in church, you say, I will not date anywhere else, I will date from church, but what you see is not always what you get. Another issue, family interference, whereby someone will go, every issue they will report to the uncles, to the aunties. Someone will find you in town and they will tell you, but our boy, you're not treating our girl properly. And that causes, you cannot trust someone you are with. But all in all, I believe in marriage, and I know it is hard, but through prayers and due diligence, doing due diligence, although sometimes we ujitse kubenga, ariko it's about maybe not giving up and trying to look for the right person for you, because as you said, it is not in and out, it is until death do us apart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comment? Yes? Has anybody seen my phone? I think they left it. Okay. Yeah, come in. Let's talk. Let's be free now. You've had all these. Let's be free to each other. Let's talk in the next 5 minutes.
Thank you. For me, I think it's 3 points. I've had conversations with some married people, and one of the things they highlighted was that the generation of parents that came before us was quite broken. So for example, where I come from, there's a lot of single parents. So either person coming from a single fatherhood or a single motherhood family.
Yeah.
And so they don't get the teachings of how to get into a marriage from the families they come from, and they try to trickle down the perceptions they had from that family into the family they're trying to build. So if a person was raised by a single mom, for example, then they have a perception towards what men are, or if you're raised by a single father, a perception towards what women are. And then another thing was age difference. There's some communities that maybe marry when girls are too young. So a person, I don't know which one is the right age difference, but sometimes you find maybe a 10-year, 15-year gap. I don't know that that's wrong or right, or a guy marrying a woman that is older, or they're the same age, and there's a difference in opinions. So yeah, those two.
You said sometimes single parenting. Just tell me.
Single parents.
You're raised by a single parent. Okay. And then the other question was? Okay. It is possible to be raised by single parents. not because it's a choice of those parents. People become single parents for a number of reasons. They could have lost a husband and they're single parents. They could have lost a wife and they're single parents. They could have acquired a child before getting married and they're single what? Parents. They could have children out of divorce and they're still single parents. There are some single parents who are much more stricter and upbringing their children than even couples. Do you trust that? There are some, being a single parent does not fall, because a lot of it is not a fault of their own. But you still can be responsible. God does not abandon you because you are a single parent. You can still be responsible and bring this boy or this girl up well. Do you get it? So people become single parents for a number of reasons. That should not be a hindrance. So when you get married, a girl cannot say no because you are only from a single parent. It's your character as a person that matters. Do you get it? So a girl or a boy will not say no. No. Age difference can also sometimes bring misunderstanding and divorce, yes. But age difference, what is the best age difference? Age difference, it is much more advisable. In the West now, most people, they marry almost same age, 1 year ahead, 1 year below, like that. Age is when one is ready. But some people can say 5 years a girl to be below, because girls mature very much earlier than the boys. A girl at 25, she's ready. 24, 25, she's ready for marriage. She's mature, she knows what she wants. Some boys might push up to 30 or even 30 because they feel the responsibility is a bit too much for them. But they also do marry early, some of them, when they feel they are ready. So age difference, of course, if you are a 25-year-old man and you are marrying a 30 or 35-year-old woman, wife, then it can be a big of a problem, isn't it? So age difference is how you feel and how you interpret your love. Do you understand? There are some people who's older than the girls and they still live a good life. There are still some people who can fight and they are aged the same age. So age difference is between the two of you and how you feel comfortable and how others around you feel comfortable. But the single mother, single father, that one, you can raise your child. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I have just two quick questions. Firstly, from the beginning, you talked about getting to know each other.
Yes.
So my question there is, how do you know that you actually know the person very well?
How do you know them?
How do you know that you are actually ready to go to another level with that person? Like,
Yeah, I get
is
it.
there
Leave it
maybe
there.
an
Leave it there.
okay, so another question. I have this friend, right? And she's been married for like 7 years now. From the beginning, the husband lied that he did not have, he lied that he had one child, but then after a while, he had 3. And these children were there before they got married. Now, after 7 years, the kids are giving her problem. The husband is giving her problem because he's cheating, and the kids are just not respectful. And now she's having some health issues. So if we were to advise her if she should stay, because it is at a point that she wants to leave. So if you were to advise her or to talk to her between her life and the marriage, what would be your advice to her?
Right. Right. The first one. The first one. The first one.
Is how do you know that you know a person, actually know a person?
Okay. Right. These are very important questions. Our church is a policy to allow actually divorce. We have our policy now has adjusted itself even to allow divorce, not necessarily death. I'll come to that. How do you know that this person, how can you be sure that the person, the question was, at what stage? You know, when you have a friend, sometimes we say dating. Do you remember when we were here talked about dating? Dating means I can be with this one. And I say, we have had dates 2, 3, 4 times. It's not the right time, the right person. That's dating. Because you have to know a person. Knowing a person does not mean the first person you have met, yes, this is the one I'm going to marry. We are not talking about dating, but I think we did talk about it. It's important to know that the journey you are going to enter is life. But don't worry about what people say, that today I have this one, you are dated a few times, you say, we are not compatible. His values are not my values. Let me ask you, if you are going to buy a car, do you buy the first car you get? Sometimes you go to check, I have money, I'm come to buy this car, but it's faulty. We have to buy this house, but for sure, let's have a look at other houses first before we make up our mind, like those of us who get mortgage. What it means, dating means I need to know somebody I want to involve myself into life. You get it? If we have dated for 2 weeks, 2 months, and dating does not mean sex. Dating does not mean you have to give yourself for sex for this man in order to show this woman in order to know she's the one. Because sometimes sex will hook you for life. It means I have a right to know him and him to know me. Along the line, if we say, I think I like him. I think he meets my values. I think she meets my values. Then you move to the next stage of courtship. That stage of courtship now is now when you now put your principle. Because out of so many, you have come to him. He meets my expectations. He's the one I think I like. My values and his are the same. His parents are okay. My parents have no problem. Well, I mean, sometimes when you are dating, you don't bring every girl you are talking to your mother and your father. Oh, this one. Oh, this one. Then they say, hey, what's wrong with you? The other day you showed us this one. Yeah. With the other one, now you're showing us this one. Where are you? Because with us, in our own minds, abasaza, we never went, there was no word called dating in our time. There was no courtship in our time. What was there? Bamundangie, n'umwana mwiza, that's it, endorsement, and it meant what? Marriage, not other thing. But your time now, it involves dating. For some reason, you have been watching this guy, and knowing to you, or he's not known to you, you have been watching each other if you are living in the same church. But it could be somebody from outside. So dating means, let's see if we are compatible to each other. Let's see if our values are what? Are together. Is this the sort of person I want? If not, you said, thank you for our friendship. We are only friends. You don't hurt him. He doesn't hurt you because you're only what? So I go to this one. Eventually, and prayer, God will appoint you to the person. But don't say, I'll wait until somebody try also. You girls, you can't try also. It doesn't be the men to chase. Even the girls can do what? Chase. This is a different generation. Why should the men not chase, the girls not chase? After all, there's few boys these days. If I see that this boy is a potential, and if I'm a girl, I'll also make my strategy. Remember that word? Strategic planning of Esther. Do you get it? Yes. Because Esther did not just appear to the king. The king would kill her. You don't just go to the king. But she made what? One. And the husband said, what does she make dinner for? What does she want? Next dinner. And the third one. And the man said, what does she want? Okay, come and tell me what you want. Strategy. So if I want this young man who is smiling and is tall and who is handsome and who is a professional, is working somewhere, I make my strategy. I make my what? Don't wait to be chased. Chase. Wait, make your own strategy, but be clever. Esther did not come straight to the king after the dinner. She only made what? A dinner for the king to think about it. You can do something to the boy until he begins to think about it. I could say, that girl, I don't know. I think there's something, because these boys, some of them, they don't understand something. But I think this boy is after this girl. I don't know why. Another dinner. Do you understand? That's all strategy. And I was, last time he talked to me, she told me, hey, how's your mother? Hey, how's your sister? Now she's telling me, happy birthday. I don't know. Then he's now talking to the other boy. What he's telling? I don't know that girl, no. What do you think? She's telling me all these things. She's doing all things. Another dinner. Before you realize, the shy fellow comes out of his shyness, and other boys tell him, go and say something. Because he will go and talk to the other boys. The other boys will tell him, I think it's high time to go and say something. And then he will say, Queen Esther, come in front. Can we have, boys are shy. They don't even know how to put things. And the other boys are, what do you think I'm going to tell her? He only smiles. Don't push. The guy is struggling. Get another strategy, another dinner. He's only struggling. He doesn't know what to say next. He has come, put all his words here, and he come, and when he sees you, all words evaporate. And now you are sitting down, a cup of tea. Where do you work? You can't have it. You should know that. They are shy. They are church boys. They have grown in this church. They don't know those ways of the boys in the car park there. So, those rough boys in the streets, they are very clever. This one is innocent in all his life. Do you enjoy eating this and that? Don't worry. Let him go for another dinner, another time. Before you realize, that shyness evaporates. A girl who is clever will take advantage of this boy and marry him. Talk to this boy with your strategy. Don't show you are dying for him. No. That should not be there. But do something. Say, also, how your work is okay. And you eat, you do things. I've really, really enjoyed it today. We have been together. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Even if he has told you nothing. Is that answered? So you be clever and deal with that, even the age, everything. Now, when it comes to the other question, that's the one we are talking about nearly. It clashes with the control and hiding facts. This lady went into marriage, 7 years in marriage. But all along, one child, next one 2, next one 3. So what is coming? How do you expect her to be happy? Stress will kill her. Probably after 7 years, she has maybe she has her own children there, maybe 1 or 2. But this fellow now is amassing 5 children. He's not faithful. Our church does not contain violence. It's very clear these days. If somebody is violent, all the time hitting you, all the time beating everything is like a terrorist in the home, you can take a break. He can be warned by elders. He can be warned by his parents. If the behavior does not change, even the control one we are talking about, control kills. You find somebody has cut you out of your family, has cut you out of everything, that also these days is considered. Until somebody is like a stick, depression, they are depressed because they have everything. In that house they are rich, but this person is living constantly under fear. Even some responsible parents will say, out of this marriage. Out, otherwise you are going to die here. There are times when it reaches, when you are thinking you are going to die, you are developing illnesses, and this guy is not listening to nobody. Then you should make up your mind and say, let me be poor at home, but have other people die. Literally run mad or die because in a relationship. This fellow is not changing. Any other question before we close? Yes. 2. Okay. Let's speak up.
Thank you very much. We've been missing such sessions at church.
Yeah.
May God bless you, because the youth need this much where we have reached now. Have some concerns. 1, Pastor, when you see at your times, children were guided much when they are still growing before they reach in their families, or before they get married. These days, people are guided after reaching marriage much than before. Let me first hit hard in the church. Imagine of a daughter who is coming from the elder's family, or a son in the same way. There is a big influence from the families we live in, whereby people are having limited choices because of the beauty and the respect of the family. Yes, you may need someone outside there, but they will say, how will people see pastor's daughter going on like this? And how can they see elder's son just taking someone who is not even this? So they end up going into marriage because of keeping the respect of the family. In the same note, these are people who are growing up from families, and the world, as they say, that it has left people. That someone just knows how to read the Bible, these books we read every day, going to church, going back home, watching, like when it is watching the television, maybe news by chance. Other times building career programs, school and what. By the time they reach marriage, that is what is in their mind. They don't get time how can I say it? You have got it. So, you may find out that they reach into marriage and they live a boring marriage, as people say. Outside church, our people are attracted with people who are outside. they see how they behave, motivation, happy life, kind of. So we are facing that challenge. Maybe you will give your word on it. Then that one causes a daughter or a son from church to move so very many years until they reach to the final whistle. Those who have ever seen these athletics, is that whistle they blow at last. So you find someone is in that struggle up to 30 years, 31, 32, looking around people whom that person said maybe they are not spiritual or what, they have gone. And now they just go by time. Let me just go by this one because they are seeing me around. We have victims of that case. Then another case, maybe it is level. This is now outside church. People, they don't consider their level, if I can bring it in that way.
Level.
Yes. Someone is judging, like for example, there are some people, these levels we have, maybe because of money and what, you find someone who is approaching another when there is no any way they can be matching. Someone did school, studied books, maybe they are doctors and lawyers and working in the bank, they are teachers and what? And maybe someone in a spiritual way, goes in and say, you see, I dreamt about you yesterday. God sent me a dream, what and what. I think we can maybe do something. And then when there is no way these guys can actually try to relate together. So, in the family life of the church, boring life, as I can say, people are not informed where the world has gone. Meaning they reach there. Do you know, can you imagine, this is the last point, sorry. People can live in this environment. By the time they reach into their families, they find troubles.
Why?
Why? This is someone who has been so innocent and spiritual ever since maybe 1 year of age. Has grown up in a family life. Reaching there, you find one of the two doesn't know how to read the Bible. Reads one chapter and sleeps. Then they start finding, they report to elders, they report to friends. Then someone goes and gives advice. Just leave that one. I have someone who can do it much better than that. So how do you advise someone who reaches into marriage innocently, reaching there, they miss the happiness? I don't know whether even the happiness is spiritual, but I will be guided.
Thank you very much. Those are fundamental issues that affect. I think the first one was in relationship to somebody growing into a elder's house, pastor's house, and then them deciding, you know, you could put this one to the level, almost. It's almost like you're going to the level you mentioned last. This one has grown up in this sort of lifestyle, and then the pastor, and then the elder, and then the big man or the rich man is expecting this lady or their daughter or their son to go to a person of similar, almost, environment. Do you understand? Maybe money to money, or spiritual to, I don't know whether you call it spiritual to spiritual, because it doesn't mean that the son of a pastor or the daughter of a pastor or an elder is spiritual. Let us be very careful, because it does not guarantee your father's behavior, mother's spirituality. When it comes to spirituality, how many pastors have sons and daughters who have left the church? How many elders have sons and daughters who don't want church? Are we together? However, I agree with you that some people have got standards, levels, standards. If my daughter who have been with me is here, if he's moving to this home, But he's going to go to this other home where you even have nowhere to park your car when you go there. Do you understand? I go say, where are we going to park our car when we go there? Do you understand? Sometimes parents don't get it. And that's one way. Personally, I don't agree with that. Just simply because the boy is from a simple family and the girl is from a simple family, but both their values of Christianity match, should not deprive this boy to marry a daughter of a pastor or a daughter of a son of a... She shouldn't. I don't know what you think, Pastor. Because they have said this is we are all matched, but the only difference, maybe his parents are not Adventists. But this boy, or one of his parents are Adventists. But this boy or this girl who is coming is one of your deacons. He has not even converted because of you. He has been there all along. Discriminating that boy because of that your father wants to have where to park his car, is not a very good thing. The same thing with rebels you're talking about. If the girl is highly educated and the boy is not that educated, or the vice versa, it's worse when it is a boy to a girl. I think the culture. Because if the boy is highly educated and the girl is not, I think that's permissible from many cultures. But if the other way, that this girl is so way up there, and this boy just finished his high school, he didn't have time to go many miles away, but he has found this girl, and he can afford to make a point. He can afford to make his point to the lawyer, and he convince an educated lawyer that I'll make a good husband. He is an Adventist, but he lacked money to take him further. But imagine has enough, his head, enough to convince that lawyer that I can make a husband, you know that. And that doctor. Why should he be victimized? Why should he be? Then the parents will say, our daughter is a doctor. I could say, but that happens, isn't it? And they can say flat no. They'll get all the sections they can put on this young man. Section 1, Section 2, not educated. Section 3, we don't even know where he comes from. So a lot of things will come to the section of this young boy. But the lawyer says, I have my degree in law and I have seen him. He can be a good husband. I mean, they have been worshiping in the same church or somewhere. I struggle to understand, unless something else is bringing, if the boy is lousy and behavior is no good and pretending to be a Christian who is not. But I think if the two of you, it's always important to get parental blessings. I'm not saying no. Very important. If you can find a way of convincing them that it's because of this and that, that's okay. If the lawyer has found you, do you know you can get married and actually continue education? Did you know that? How many people are married and they continue education? Many. Do you know that this fellow can become another lawyer? It's the atmosphere that you create. He could have, if the victim, you are victimizing him because of education, this fellow can come, you can even help him with your money. He gets education to a certain level that both of you are compatible and comfortable. What was the other one? And have I answered all? Which one was that? No, just tell me. Experience. Nyongorero. Huh? Yeah. This is a very tough one. Niyo kwongolera. And they're saying, and maybe I've grown in the church and I've grown an innocent girl, I've grown an innocent boy, I've not been running around, I don't know much about this sex business. The girl said, this boy now, this. So, and if not, people learn, isn't it? And they learn in marriage. If he's functioning well, he can learn in marriage. The girl might not have ever experienced any man, but she can learn in marriage. Do you understand? These things even animals do when they have not gone to any school. Do you understand? They are normal. Eventually, even the animals do it. They don't have to be told how to do things. Okay? So, metals can attract each other and dispel each other. These things, you don't have to go running around so that you may practice what you are going to do in your marriage. If you do practice it outside, you are likely to get lost outside there. Because you'll say, that one does it better. That one does this better. That one, you can't talk. Do you understand? That one cooks food better, and that one. Learn things together, do things together. Who taught Adam how to do things? They never had auntie and uncle. Let's work together. Don't be scared of that. However, if you have tempted to say, me, I've been running around, this girl is a virgin, has just come to me, and she's such an innocent girl, let me go back to my ex. You are the wrong one. Last question. Hey, ma'am, okay. How many more minutes do we have? Hey, come with us, who is the controller? Okay, quickly.
Thank you for your counsels.
Somebody else can answer questions, not necessarily me, by the way. Elder, some of the questions.
Thank you for your counsels, Elder. My friend was in a relationship for some 5 years.
5 years.
And then he decided, I'm using an example, and he decided to get married. So as the process goes, he spoke with the father, and there is always that question, who is the father of the daughter, or what is the family?
Yeah.
So they found out, the father to the guy found out that they knew each other. They knew the family of that girl before. So for some reason, his father objected to that marriage because he believed that the father of the daughter is not well behaved as they lived together for some times back.
Right.
The daughter was fine-mannered, and she finally got married somewhere else. But the marriage didn't go on as planned, like they separated for that matter. But the daughter was well behaved, was nice, Christian and everything. But the father of the guy didn't believe that that is a family you can marry in. So my question is, what if you don't agree with your family and your family you cannot take away your ancestral family from family? Families have a way they have to be involved in your families anyway. So I'm like, what if you don't agree with, for example, your father? His opinion is opposite from yours. And
okay,
how did you go about it?
I get you. Hey, do you want to answer that? What if the reason is given by your parents are not convincing? Just simply because they disagreed over some years ago because he could not give him a cow, and he gave him back his cow, he ate his debt, he never paid back. He says, I don't want to see her.
Thank you, Brother Shema. Okay, maybe you didn't tell us maybe the details of who these parents were. We don't know whether they are Christian parents, or maybe they are non-Christian parents. Also, those details also are very important. However, sometimes it happens. Maybe I have been at the university, and maybe I have a friend of mine who were together at the university, and maybe he was fond of pickpocketing. So just in my mind, whoever that will come out of that product will also be pickpocketing. You call that simple stealing, I don't know. So there's that imagination. And yet the daughter might be a Christian, having nothing to do with what the father did. So I think if this father maybe is not having Christian background, me who is trying to judge, I might not be maybe a Christian. I might judge wrongly the other former friend of mine at the university who has this daughter. So I might judge her not correctly, which is not good because I'm not a Christian. So there are situations where today parents advise the young people or young daughters or girls, say, please kind of be careful with that family. And these young people say, no, I think I'm in love with this girl, I'm in love with this boy. I think the parents are too outdated. I think we cannot go by their standards. Okay, fine, you go ahead with the marriage. Okay, the other one you said didn't go further with the marriage, they didn't go ahead, but there are situations where young people will say, okay, fine, leave around these parents, they're outdated. We are now in a different generation altogether. So that is very dangerous. Whether the parent is an Adventist and not Adventist, or a Christian not and not a Christian, but they are insisting, please, that be careful with that girl, be careful with that boy. And those are the parents, but even the close relatives also will say, be careful, be careful, be careful. And for you, go ahead. You go ahead and get into that marriage. Of course, things are not going to be 100%. There will be some small issues. But whenever those small issues come up, when you are married, you say, I think my parent told me. I think it's because of this. I think these are the results of what maybe I entered into. So you finally don't have any confidence in that marriage because of those stories behind. Let me tell you one experience. I'm not going to mention the name of this couple, of this relationship. But here is a girl somewhere. His relationship with a boy, and somehow the parents don't want this boy to get married to this girl of theirs. And the family is against this. And this girl says, I think, let me go ahead with the relationship because I'm in love with this girl. So now she goes ahead with the boy. Unfortunately, when it comes the time of, let me say, wedding, in terms of wedding, civil, whatever, no family member of that girl, no brother, no sister, no mother, no father in that wedding. Personally, I just witnessed this. Until one of the parents called me and said, please, since our girl has insisted to get married and we are not coming to that wedding, kindly, as maybe a close friend, kindly be there on behalf of this girl. Because the boys, the brothers and the sisters, there are many brothers and sisters, the mothers, the whatever, the parents, the uncles, nobody was there. I was there on behalf of that girl, miserable girl, on behalf of the family. So I'm just imagining that kind of marriage. You are insisting you're in love with that boy, fine, you can go, you have gone ahead with the marriage, with the relationship, fine. But in inverted comma, you don't have brother, you don't have sister. Is that really happy? I think this is where things beginning to fail before they start off. You know, you have a car which is old and you start now, starting and it cannot start. It means that car is going to bring you problems. So that is the beginning of the fall. So we are advising young people, much as the parents or the elderly people are outdated in as far as understanding the modern trends, But be careful. Listen to some of these people, these parents. You never know, they might have wisdom. They have not gone to university, they have not gone with the masters, but they have some wisdom which God gave them the extent that they are qualified to be your biological fathers, biological mothers. So since they are your biological fathers, biological parents, at least they have some minimum wisdom God has given them to be able to direct you accordingly so that they can be able to have a child who is going to have stable home and stable families. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me say something about this one. It's very painful, isn't it? For you to be disowned by all your close family members. Do you want to know how to avoid this? I will give you a tip. We have dating period. Finally, we say, Natasha is a girl. Two of you agree, you're now moving to another stage, which is courtship. Before you go there, don't leave it too late. It is very, very painful. This girl who has gone in this marriage is a very difficult marriage. It's a very difficult marriage. Any little thing, she has no one to turn to. She will not send a message to her mother. She is not going to send a message to her sisters. This man can do anything with her. And marriage has its own challenges. She has no one. And these things are very common. It's a painful marriage. It does not last. They will separate. And instead of welcoming her with both arms, we told you. So this girl ends up in a miserable life even after. One, she'll never forgive her family for destroying her marriage. Two, she's isolated. To avoid this, because there is a very strong problem here. Very strong. Whatever you do, know that you belong here. You are coming from traditional families. You are not Bazungu. Because with them, I love that girl, yes. Kneel down, Wendy, can you marry me? Yes, ring. Daddy, this is the girl. Mommy, that's the girl. You are 18 and above. You're an adult. God bless you. Not so here. When this boy is the one, or this girl is the one, mostly boys suffer this, the girls suffer this setback. But when this boy is the one, and you think this girl is the one, begin informing the significant people in your life. Daddy, mommy, I'm in a relationship. I think I like that girl. Before you break her heart, I think I like this boy. We have been talking. He sounds good. See the one you are close to. Mommy or daddy or both or grandmother. Start bringing this conversation early. Start testing them even before you get even dating. Say, what sort of boy would you like me to have? What sort of girl would you like to me? They have their dreams. You can't separate yourself. They have their what? Dreams. But you modern girls, you also have your dreams. Start talking. Start getting information from them early in life. What sort of man would you like me to have? What sort of girl would you like to hear what they feel? And immediately you begin thinking Rose is the one, sending feelers. ariko se umukobwa akana kamubona ute? The boy, how do you see that boy? One day, okay. Don't say, that's the one, Mom. You should know your parents very well. There are some who are more sensitive than you know your parents, you have grown with them, you know their sensitivity, their levels, you know them. You know what to say and how not to say. Do you understand? Once you know them and you say, you can even tell the answer they are going to tell you because you know them. Because all along you have been discussing what they expect. Hey, let me tell you a secret. When these boys and the girls are of your age, we as parents begin to say, no kusenga, God, man, this is, I would wish my boy and the girl to get this girl. So they have been praying for you. So whenever you tell them, there's somebody, this one, it's okay. Or tell auntie, or tell them whatever, but begin putting in feelers so you don't surprise them. Because when you surprise them, they get shocked. And then the first time, they know this boy, where he comes from. Then you have that which you don't need. Put in the feeders. You can prevent a lot. One girl, yes, wait, yeah. Come. Esther. Yes, Esther. Mwana wa pastor. Abaleba mulebe. Hari kyabuze. Yujuje byose. Those boys, the Bible says, those who have eyes, let them. And those who have ears. I'm not going to say more about that. Esther.
Thank you, Elder. Mine is sort of a question, or just kind of nitpicking your thought on it. As youths, when you mentioned the sort of challenges we face that we go into marriage with, I should say, in comparison, because you said what went wrong. So I had this thought of how different it is for us today. Before, as a girl was getting to probably, their 17s and something, they've already started matchmaking them somehow.
Yes.
And before she actually knows any better, for lack of a better word, they're like, okay, that's going to be your husband, and it is inbuilt within them. You leave your parents' home, and the next thing you go and you get married.
Yeah.
Now, right now, we, at 17, I'm still in school and being naughty and having fun with that. So, and then you grow up and you finish university, you come out, you start looking for work. You get a certain kind of independence, even from your parents.
Yeah.
You have your own ideas, you can, take care of yourself, Somehow your parents even say, they start asking for your ideas. Now you meet this guy who is equally into that life. You come together and you've all built, I should say, like your own palaces. You're this queen and he's this king. And somehow, the walls of these palaces are kind of hitting each other. He still has in his mind, I'm the guy, I'm gonna come in and, dominate. And then you're like, hey, wait a minute, I've had my own life and I was dominating. So I don't know what your thoughts are in terms of advice you can give us, because truthfully, I know for sure that is where I stand in that life, and we struggle with that.
I get you. That's a very good question, Esther. In London, we were having this girl, before you get married, people advise you, isn't it? People advise you, isn't it? The women call you, what do you call it? They talk to you, isn't it? Yeah, but there it is different. I think here, I don't think the boys get to be talked to as much. The girl is more talked to, isn't it? Do you have sessions for boys who are getting married? Maybe not very much. But then we had this I saw it for the first time. We had this when in church we were having a group. The father-in-law to be is there. They were coming from America. And all his brothers, they have come to UK for this girl wedding. And we sat. The women sat in the different section and they talked to the girl. Okay? It was made in a way that they will swap. When the girl moves from the women, she comes to the men. And the boy will go to the women to talk to him. This girl asked her something. She was very frank. The father-in-law is there. Our brothers. She said, exactly what Esther is saying. She said, look, I am the firstborn of my family. The boy is the lastborn of his family. Being the firstborn, I am used to giving orders. Charity, do you get what I'm talking about? Natasha will have to listen. I am used to giving orders. Because you are the firstborn, isn't it? You are the mother when she's not there. You are blah, blah, blah. I'm used to giving orders, my juniors. The boy is used to getting orders. Is used to getting what? You know, he is used to getting what? Orders. She's asking the father-in-law is there. You people now, my parents, what was it? Nasarahad advised me on how to handle my marriage. That's the question. The Bible says, as it's last year, because I've just had a new policy coming out, but the Bible says the man is the head of what? The family. In modernism, even in modernism, that doesn't change in the Bible. However, in the new married groups, in the Western society, we have a saying. The woman is always right. That's the policy. The woman is always right. When you go into the marriage, they'll tell you there in the West, I'm talking about Western, the woman is always right. You want peace in your family? Yes. The woman is always what? Right. But the head of the family is the man. The head of the family is what? Is the man. In our traditional Rwandese culture, trust me, even the hardest man is controlled by his wife. Even your father who is as stubborn as anything, when that mother talks, let alone in the middle of the night, he listens. And he ignores, he pretends he has not heard. He pretends he has not what? But he listens. There are a lot of families here in this country and everywhere. If you want something easily, wise people will say, don't waste time with this man. Go and talk to her. Things will move. Do you get it? The mothers are queens in the family. But a wise queen will not challenge the husband. That tough woman you see, who is always right, when she's wise, she will say, go and talk to your father. She knows the answer, but she will refer you to the father as the last person. Let that decide. She has already decided in her mind. But because she's clever, she does not want to contradict him. Even if he makes mistakes, she will try to correct the mistakes in a wise way, without making him look small. You get that word? Small. That's a wise woman. She will say, let's see. Daddy, I think that my daughter, I think she had a point, you know. Oh, Elda Ngubala had a point, you know. But let's, no. Okay, that she will know when he's calm, when he's like that, and she will talk to him, and then say, let's give that cow away. I think we need to give that. And then he will come and he gives. But she's advised him. She has not lost her authority, but she has given him authority. Do you understand? She has decided to give him what? Authority. And sort things out slowly. That's a wise woman of the Bible. Last one, Mom, then we to say, marriage is not easy, but it's also not hard if you're in God's hands. Yes, and yes. Yes, you can speak loud. Zoom, akushakaro kuri Zoom. Han. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the issue of disagreement with the parents. My brother is in this area. I just wanted to, may I say, to advise you, have a check on yourself, being for the boys and the girls side, both sides, because do you have try to understand whether you have disagreement at the time of dating or at the time of courtship? Because sometimes we are already caught up with the fire of love, yes, and you no longer hear what people say. So that is why it's good to, how can I say, kubigendamo buhoro twitonze. Yes, hamwe no gusenga. At the time of dating, try to get all the information. And especially if it is here at the church, you have consultants who are not paid. Charity, do you think if you come to me and say, please, help me to get this information, I will not sleep? Because if there is people who want you to have a good family, it is your parents.
Yes.
It is people like us elders. Mm-hmm. I'm not competing with you. Huh?
You wish you the best.
But when you get advice from your age mate, they don't have much. Let me tell you, most of the things we are saying here, we have already experienced it.
Yeah.
This issue of controlling, most of the time, things people talk, sometimes there are truth in it. I remember I was, I think in secondary school, I experienced one marriage. At the time of wedding, people were saying, oh my God, uriya mugabo ni umugome, kariya kana kagakobwa, akajijiji iki. Because they knew there are many things which are not disclosed by this young lady, innocent lady. This man was controlling to the extent, even when she was sick, she would go and buy a blood, bakamuterera amaraso mu rugo. He disconnected her from friends and relatives.
Oh, yes.
And she died. I remember one of my friends also consulted me. I was also, we were a young couple, and she told me the challenge she's getting, just the first 6 months in marriage. Then, even me, I didn't have an experience, but really it was tough for her. Then I told her, does this man have the mother? Then I said, can we look the mother and we talk, maybe something will come out. You know what this lady told me? She said, I visited his home recently, and the mother is drunker than the man.
There you are. You are going somewhere.
I am sure there are people who talked about this in time of courtship, but she was already in fire, where you don't listen anyone. So please take time, try to get information, try to do research, use the unpaid consultancies. They are there to help you, but I can tell you this is a sensitive thing. Another thing, just briefly for the friendship, how to manage the previous friends. I am happy Rose mentioned something like putting boundaries. And also, I think you said about disclosing the information. But then what? Your fiancé disclosed that he is having 2 children. Then what? I think they don't have to stop there. You have to agree on some standards and boundaries. And the responsibilities. And I tell you, this also is not an easy process, because some friends are already connected to those children, are already connected to these families. And that's why I want also to say, boys and girls, don't be, may I say, have early excitement. Don't bring many girls at home to your parents at the time of dating.
No.
Because also parents are different. Mothers or fathers, they will be excited. They will host these girls as already the daughter in Rose. And this also will bring conflict. Recently, I had one young man. She had to call the meeting in her family. He had a child before he got married. But he had an agreement with the lady how to raise this child. But her family was already much connected and friend with this previous lady. But the man have to make it clear to her home, to his home. He called his mother and the relative and said, I made the choice. This is the lady I officially showed you, and officially I married this girl. But whenever she comes here at home, she can't feel comfortable because of the relationship you have built with may I call it the first girlfriend or whatever. So this issue of disclosing things, it's not a matter of just one day. It is a process if you have already decided to walk through with that man already. It is a journey, so you have to put boundaries and standards. And make sure that there will be people in a disagreement with this. But you are two, the house and the family and the marriage, it's for both of you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Let me say towards before the elder comes, add some value to that. If you keep bringing people at home, they will form an opinion. There is this girl who will come and wash the dishes with your mother. And before anything else, she says, Mother, I think the katubanza to change. Oh! Now, tomorrow you bring the next one and another one, and you say, I think I like this one better. And you go again to the mother and the father, and they say, ako si wa mwana wa mbere. Do you understand? So you have to be very careful that in dating, decide with your prayers and your friends first. And yourself, the two of you, are you fulfilling all that? Even your friends can tell. Even some people, before you go to home, can tell in the church, that girl, that boy is special. By the time you really go to present to the father and the mother, you can also tell them what she is expecting. Recently, we had a wedding. This was a Ugandan girl marrying a Nigerian boy. So we went to this wedding. When the boy took the girl for the first time to see his parents, you know what he did? My mother likes flowers. So when you come with flowers. He prepared her. The mother mentioned it. Do you know? When this girl came first, she brought me flowers. And I think, she was in Telangana in the wedding, and I think this boy, must have told her what to bring. Because he knows what I like. But I don't care because she brought me what? Flowers. And ever since she visits, she brings me what? Flowers. Before you bring that lady, you can't bring A, B, C. The girls also and the boys are manipulative. The boy will come with all the gifts to the father and the mother, and that one, if he's a controller, is very clever. He will bring everything until you bring B, and they say, he's laughing. But they don't know him. It's only you who knows him. So be careful when you bring somebody. Let that somebody be endorsed by your friend. And listen to your friends. Some of them are very genuine. They see what you don't see, if they are genuine. Elder, you are the last one. The youth leader will say something. Who is that? Okay. When Irene puts her hand, I cannot say nothing.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank the Elder and the Youth Department for having organized this session. I want to talk of something that is a bit small, I don't know, but we see it. As a church, I have been in leadership of this church for quite some time.
Please bring the questions. Sit down.
And we used to have the issues of almost every church board would have disciplinary issues concerned with our young people who got married when they were pregnant. On and off, almost every church board would have that on the agenda. So instead of, as a church, focusing on the strategic matters or strategic goals of KEC, we are discussing on discipline.
Who is it?
Our young people who got pregnant before wedding. Okay, we're not here to judge. Elder mentioned of some strategic ways our young girls can apply to win those boys who are shy. But even the reverse is also true.
Yes.
The strategic way of winning those boys who are shy, or the reverse is true, the strategic way in which these boys can win these beautiful girls that have continued to say, no, 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 wait, 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 wait. So one of the ways in which they want to ensure that everything goes their way is through sex. So you find in a way, there is a way the other side will make the other side fall in a trap. Okay, you mentioned the introduction of the traditional way of how our fathers and mothers got married, that it was the family matter. You would just identify a family X, there's this girl, and then families join together to organize this wedding. when I have not had much opportunity maybe to talk to this girl or this girl talk to the boy. Fine, that was good, and there was some bit of stability. We cannot go to that century because now gone are those days. But today, young people, including Christians, they have a tendency of thinking in their own minds that if you don't have sex with this girl
Before.
yes, you are not going to succeed in getting yes or no. From the Christian point of view, these are stories we hear, but I've not heard from Bob or another close, but these are stories we are here from. I'm sorry to, until one day, it's good that my wife has come. There's one close family member who came to her, and this lady was very sincere. She spoke to her and said, Mommy or Mama Bob, tell him, is it true that there is no boy who can accept you when you don't sleep with her? I mean with him. She was very sincere. And this girl is coming from, I think the father, I think might be a church leader somewhere. She was very sincere, somewhere from the village. And this girl is learned and she's very sincere. My Bob, she's here. So this girl was very sincere and came to her and said, tell me sincerely. And she was very honest. Tell him, is it true that you cannot win a boy if you don't have sex with this boy? So now my Bob also tried also to explain her side of the coin, that we are Christians, this cannot happen, we are Christians. So in short, what I want to say, this premarital sex before marriage. Today, of course, because of that, the disciplinary meetings we are having on disciplining these young people, we said now I think we need to focus on the strategic goals of KC, not on the disciplinary. Let us go for the you call it what? The other testing at Dr. Tommy's place. If for you who don't know, we don't announce it here, but whenever you are planning to get married, you have to go for the test at Dr. Tommy, and then bring a certificate that you have been tested negative, not to COVID, but negative with no pregnancy. So, and since that time, it has worked. We don't announce it here because it can be dangerous.
Is
so
it AIDS? AIDS?
Sorry?
Is it COVID or AIDS?
No, it's a pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
Pregnancy. You have to go for the pregnancy test. Of course, there are some young people who used to manipulate. This is what the reports we are getting, and sometimes these young girls, whenever they would do, they are pregnant, they would go and get the urine of the boys, and then they put in the lab. These are the stories we got from the clinic. They would manipulate, and then the results are out, say that's negative. But then after 3-4 months after wedding, you see this girl is now pregnant. You said, how can the negative now become positive? So we are living in a terrible, dangerous situation. This is true. These are Adventists. Others will say, after maybe it has been discovered that this person maybe is negative, positive, that he wanted to get wedded, and somehow the church has not advanced her wedding. You go and make stories. These KC people are complicated people. All these other churches are complicated. They say now because of this, because of the dressing was not good, they say no, they have refused now to get wedded. It is not true. So the advice I'm giving these young people, the survey that have been made by people that have had marriages that have been unstable and finally got separated, the therapist will tell you, a bigger percentage of those marriages that have broken, primarily it is because of having sex before what? It is because, when you are having sex with this girl or this boy for quite some time, you don't have, it's like there's no even respect. It's just the other one, it's the other one, it's the other one, the other one, it's the other one. Even when you come to marriage or to wedding, it's just formality. There is no passion, there's nothing special that you are having this girl or having in this boy. Why? Because you're already husband and wives. All you are waiting for is just to be blessed by the church pastor. Say, we are blessing this marriage, but these people have been married for quite some time. In inverted comma. So although they are coming now today with the negative test, it does not necessarily mean that they have not had sex. But because they are clever, they have known the weakness of the church. They have strategized also. It's also another strategy. It's okay now. Let us now see what the church will say. The results are negative. I have complied with all the conditions and the terms of the church. What will they say? We wed you. At the end of the day, not only it will be a question of time. We are not saying that all these marriages will end into breaking, but what we are trying to say, a bigger percentage of these marriages that break, it's because there is no respect for each other. You have been sleeping with this boy, you have been sleeping with this girl. It is husband and wife. We are just waiting for being blessed. Let me tell you one experience. One time we went for the wedding of this couple. And we went went to church, and there was, I think, Gusaba, there was Gutwikurura. No, before the Gutwikurura, there is Gusaba, and then there is the church. After the church, we went for the reception. After the reception, we went for the Gutwikurura, up to, I think, the Gutwikurura ended like 1 o'clock in the morning. Elder, are you getting the point? I'm getting the point. 1 o'clock in the morning. And now there is this couple, because they are so polite enough. The husband called me around 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, the Gutwikurura is completed 1 o'clock at night or in the morning. And now this young man calls me around 5 o'clock in the morning, a difference of about 4 or 3 hours. So I'm trying to imagine myself, however polite you are and appreciating what Elder has done to attend your wedding and attend your Gutwikurura up to 1 o'clock. And you are calling now 5 o'clock, even in the morning. So I'm now imagining now if this was your first time to meet this girl, can you get those guts to be able to call this elder? But because now it is just the order of the day. Okay, I'm not inverted to comma. I'm not trying to judge this one, but this is what I'm imagining. Because these have been together, they go together, they sleep together, they climb together, everything is together. Together is good, but when it becomes too much also. Whenever there is a problem, say, now ndakurambiwe. Why? Because wamwamburi imyenda, there is no respect. Respect is not there. You start now fighting even before you get to wedding. So finally, this is biblical. Sex before marriage is a sin. It's not me saying it. Today you might cover, but know that it is a sin before God. And the consequences might come today or tomorrow or 10 years or 20 years. Now, for example, if, you maneuver somehow, what you do is say, okay, fine. Unfortunately, I'm now pregnant. Okay, fine, there's nothing you can do. Let us go for the marriage, for the wedding, and if we don't come to church, maybe they get a reception somewhere. You call Pastor Mchisi, fine, it's okay. He just blesses the marriage. Okay, you are pregnant. And then you happen to produce maybe after 4 months, after your official wedding. And then later, of course, you say, okay, these are the procedures of the church. Let me come maybe and they baptize me. Okay, fine. We shall baptize me. I teach Bible class. If you come with the intention of getting baptized because of the sin you committed, we shall baptize you. We shall put you on the list to get baptized. But what I'm trying to ask myself, these children of this century, 21st century, they are very clever. They know the month when you got wedded by Pastor Mchisi. And the child knows the time when the child was born. The child is born 4 months after the wedding. So how are you going to explain this mathematics to the child? You are trying to concoct, I think it's because maybe there was rainy season or because maybe there was this and this. You start concocting now stories you are going to take this child. So you have now escaped the You have gone through the church procedures, you are baptized, you're fine. But what are you going to convince this child of yours who is bringing a lot of questions to you? It's going to be a shameful to you for generations and for generations. Why? It's because what we have done is against God's commandment. So by humble request and advice to our young people, we are not here to be judged. No. We are not police people. No. But all we are trying to advise you in order to have stable and continuity in your marriage and stability, let's do what God requires us as the Bible says. God bless you. Wish you the best.
Thank you very much. Before Irene, I can say to Elder, I don't know whether this exists in this country, maybe you're much more stricter, but in other societies it exists. What we call cohabiting. I have a whole topic on cohabiting. You know what cohabiting is? Before marriage, let's see if it works. Then we will do what? We will decide whether you want to be married or not. There are a lot of places, I don't know, maybe it's a new concept here, but cohabiting is a bad thing. If you have decided to get married, get married. But don't just move in and say we are sharing rent. Cohabiting is bad. Irene. Irene should be the last one. There is a question on Zoom. Please remind me to ask that question. Answer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry to talk after the elders.
That's okay, ma'am. We are still going on.
Okay. Now, it's not a question, it's just a comment. On the question you asked earlier, why is there a high rate of divorce, even in Rwanda or worldwide? I have to say, like you said back then, it was family involved in marriages, you know, like if I'm married to Ken, my parents and his, they're the ones that will, you know, back up our marriage. But these days, some parents, you know, when you run to them, they'll be like, no, my daughter, you don't have to suffer, just come. To some parents, you know, that happens. Just like the story you told us, they didn't say that maybe just go back or be patient, that's how it is. And all they do is like, just come out of that, you know, marriage. And that's the first thing. The other thing is maybe today we are exposed, mostly women, to our rights, right? Where you say like equality, I have my rights, you have your rights as well. You're not allowed to slap me, but back then you could slap someone and, you know, they just cry and give you food, you know. The next time they're happy. That maybe if they had an opportunity to get their rights, like no man should beat the wives, probably they would have done the same things people are doing today, right? And the other thing is, I just wanted to talk about is like comparing your marriage to another. There's a friend of ours, she was telling us, she was living with her big sister, and then the husband was treating her very well. She could walk down the stairs with holding hands, go on the streets, you know, all those sweet things. And then she expected the same thing to be done to her. Unfortunately, she married a soldier. And sorry? Okay, I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately. So she married a soldier, and she could just, you know, get late, you know, like she's slow getting things done, and she's expecting the husband to be like, hey, honey, just hurry up, we go, and all those sweet things she used to see done by her sister. And she could be like, hey, we are late, just hurry up. And if she, you know, gets late, she finds the husband has gone, she'll be like, just take a bike, you know. So if we start comparing our marriages, if that's what I can say, we have to lower our expectations. We don't have to, it's not copy and paste. What they're doing for my sister, it has to be done for me as well. We have to know that anything that comes your way, you have to accept it. And there, I think it can work. I don't have experience, but I think that's one of the things that are really making marriages not work these days. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Irene, for that contribution. God bless you so much. So you have to know all your expectations. And like you are saying, marriage X will not be the same as the marriage Y. So however much you may want to copy my marriage with Mama Bob 100%, it may not work. So maybe you can get maybe a glimpse of trying maybe to copy this. But if you want to copy 100%, copy and paste, it will not work. My chapter is different from the Center's chapter, different from her chapter, different from Kennedy's chapter. But all we have to do is, once we are guided by God, God will give us the best catalog. However much may want it to be like me, or Uncle Sentenga, or the Sentenga, or Kennedy, or Irene, it's not going to work. But let us follow God's catalog. If you are guided by the Holy Spirit and you are entering into marriage with the seriousness and acceptance to be guided by God and the Holy Spirit, it will work. And for that matter, having said that, let us throw away whatever negatives you have. There is this marriage that is fading. These young people, the other day, they were good people in church. They are working as dog deacons and whatever, but now they have married. I mean, they have failed in their marriage, ABC. So once you enter into a marriage relationship with all the negatives, and that today marriage is failing, marriages can succeed if you can make them succeed. So let us throw away all these negative tendencies that you have. Huh? Marriages, ABCD, marriages, it's stress, I don't want to stress myself. I loved my mother so much, I don't want to leave my mother and then go and stress up with her husband. ABCD, no. Marriage is very good. You boys, I think you know. You Mark, you can this. So for example, this Mark, it's an example. I have not stayed with him. But it's normal with the men because I've been also singles. With the boys, it's very interesting. You go to a house, and sometimes you just go take visitors. And you take visitors, you remember, maybe you have brought maybe a girlfriend to visit you. You are meeting at home, and then the previous evening, cash power got finished, and you don't even remember. You are coming with the visitor that evening, there is no cash power. This is what boys, no, I'm not saying a good number of them, but boys can be as careless as that. So that's why God is saying now, it is not good for Mark to stay alone with no cash power. Boys, in terms of management of funds, he will have a good job, have a lot of money, he's being paid at workplace. For example, my brother Blaze, he will not tell us how much he's earning, but it's a lot of money. He works in a big organization, maybe earns 3 million or 4 million, I don't know. So, but then, at the end of the month, he's the same person who is asking for advance at workplace. He's earning 3 million, 2 million, 1 million, but he's asking for advance. Why? He doesn't know also where money goes. Because the boys, somehow, generally speaking, are careless in terms of spending. They are good at receiving, but when it comes to spending, one day money has gone. He meets this so and so, he has a wedding, okay, let me contribute for you, okay, fine. This one. You find at the end of the month, he's not drinking beer, but the money has gone. But let these girls come, let these women come. So that money, 3 million or 2 million you're earning per month, you go and hand it over to your wife. When you hand it over, when it comes to a time when you want money, you try, honey, I want money, so and so. Why do you want this money for? She's going now, you are the one who gave her this money to keep it for you. But she's now asking you accountability. She's questioning you, what are you going to do with this money? Sometimes she refuses to say, no, your requisition has not been approved. You forget. But with the time, this works. Because this is how God has made them. This is how God has made them in such a way that they manage the home. And at the end of the day, you find maybe at the end of the year, maybe you are buying some piece of land in Bogesera. At the end of 2 years, you are building a house. But you have been with this money for 5 years, 10 years, with no woman, no wife. But there is nothing you are having. There is no cash power. There is no water. There is nothing. You are just there, careless. So may God help you.
Okay, so let's have a Zoom asked question. And I want to thank those people on the Zoom for being patient with us. I think the program has been too long, but it's been okay. We are all learning, isn't we? So what we are saying is very important to emphasize what the elders talked on, that when you are married, you become responsible and the house becomes a house. It is when you begin to see, oh, I didn't think this cup was not necessary in this house. Because somebody says, no, please, these cups, you are for bachelors, these chairs, let's change, this bed, let's change. Before you realize it, a house which is married is visited very often. So you begin to become a family. Question from the line, and it says, when should a person marry? I think the question with us, when we're talking about divorce rates, what I can say, a person should marry when they are ready. I cannot put age to the marriage. Marry when you are ready. It is a big responsibility. So if you are 25, you have finished school, you got a uni, or you got a job, you got a husband, a boy who is ready, and you can marry early, well and good. You got a support. If you think you're not ready, then push on. That's how we can answer that when you're ready. Let me read you this letter. Advice, the story, that's where I'm going to stop and then we stand up and pray. The story of a divorced single mother with a lot of lesson to learn. Listen to this. It has a lot, it's packed. I am writing to you in order to make someone that it's good to appreciate our partners despite their flaws. It's good to appreciate your husband or your wife despite their shortcomings. I am 32 years of age. That was written around 219, 229, 209. I'm 32 years old. My ex-husband, she's divorced, and I dated for 6 years. We were best of friends. I waited until he completed university and started work. My family and his family then met. We got married and had a son, 7 years old now. My husband was short-tempered at times, but our problems started when I wanted to make him feel he couldn't control me. Every time we argued, which is normal, I would pack my bags, go to my family, and explain. My sisters would phone my husband and shout at him. If he was controlling me, I would always dare him that if he wished, he could divorce me. I never wanted divorce. I just had pride and I never wanted to look like a loose woman in his eyes. One day, I pushed him so hard that for the first time, he beat me and locked me outside the house. I went to my family. My family took him to the police. Every time I looked like I was being abused. But to be honest, I used to abuse my husband emotionally. He was arrested and detained. Where did the story go? Disappeared. Just 1 minute, I'll find it. Okay. But to be honest, I used to abuse my husband emotionally. He was arrested. I was asked by his family to withdraw the case. I felt that what I was doing was wrong. That's what I felt. My husband was never a violent man. He did what he did because I pushed him to the wall, of which he openly knelt down and apologized. I withdrew the charge and we were reconciled. After 3 months, I packed my bags and after a small issue, and he remained alone. After 2 days, I received a call that he was in the hospital. Emotion. He was in the hospital. My family told me that I shouldn't go there because it would look like I was begging him, and my sister believed he was pretending to be ill. All this time, people felt sorry for me, like I was the one being abused. Remember, she had said, actually, I was abusing my husband. He spent a week in the hospital. After he came out, I just received a divorce summons. I wanted to say no to divorce, but because I felt this pride in me, I wanted him to change his mind and come and beg me. I called him and said he would get the divorce because I lived like I was in the hell anyway. When we went to court, listen to this one, I wanted to make him pay. So I told the court that I needed his properties to be shared. To my surprise, he openly told the court that whatever he and I acquired together should be given to me. All he wanted was a divorce. We were divorced in 2009, July. Now, my husband is married, whilst I'm still wasted. My family members are gossiping about me. My sisters are gossiping about me. I depend on what my ex-husband gives to my son for survival. I know I wasted my marriage. I am here telling all wives that they should be careful how they get advice. That's what we said earlier. Don't be cheated. Don't entertain family interference in your marriage, my dear reader. Even my young sisters are much more respected than me. Those who encouraged me to get divorced are always teasing and talking about me. Please, ladies and men, be vigilant in your marriage. Do you hear that sad story? She's regretting. You can divorce and you regret it. On small things. That's why from the very beginning I asked you to put up your hands if you wanted your marriage to last. It's not going to be very easy. You'll have external pressures, you'll have internal pressures. You have a time when your children are a problem. There's a time when your marriage is, where your husband is like this. There's a time when your wife is like this. But know that God who set you up will keep that marriage. When things become tough, ask him, let's pray. Before you mouth, before you speak. Because when you speak too much and you become a threat, he will not listen. He will just withdraw. And you get more frustrated. The best is to say, to know one another. I think my husband is a quiet one. I'm the talkative one. I think my wife is like this. If she doesn't know how to cook, you know how to cook. And the lady who is cooking for you, or you happen to the Western world where there's nobody to cook for you, teach her how to cook. Teach her how to what? I don't know whether I told you this story where a lady was not a good cook. And the mother, every time the son, after marriage, would come home and he would eat and go back. Every time he would come home and eat and go back. And then the mother said, something is not right. Why is this boy coming home to eat? But she was a wise mother. So she used to visit, check the laboratory and the ovens and all that. There's no good food. There's nothing. There's a problem here. This boy is coming for what? Food. So he invited one day the girl, daughter-in-law. I have visitors. Come and help me go shopping. So she came and went shopping with her. They came together. If you're not in a rush, cut these onions for me, cut this and that. And she didn't say anything. No criticism. Cut the onions, cut this meat, cut this thing, and they cooked. And they finished and ate. Another time, come and help. I got a cake to bake. You know, do you have time? Come. Mix these ingredients. All along, she was panicking. I'm going to be criticized. Because she knew you don't know how to cook. She was always panicking. Maybe she was in a boarding school all her life. Didn't know. Oh, she depended on mommy and she never touched it. She learned with the mother-in-law on how to cook. Every time she had things, she had a pretense of calling her. Let's go. Oh, there's anything I want to do here. I don't know much. Come, you are the educated one. Come and help me. And read this one for me. Do this. And she knew. She trained this girl very unknowingly until now the boy was coming home less and less and less. And even when he was coming, he was not coming to eat. The daughter-in-law came and said, Mom, thank you for teaching me how to cook and not rebuking me. Do you understand? Let's learn. When you have those mothers in your house, boys and girls, learn how to cook. Boys and girls, when you have those mothers in the house, learn how to do what? Cook. There are lessons. You can now actually YouTube a menu and cook it. Do you know that? All instructions are there. Even if you don't know how to make tea, the only thing you know is how to make omelette. You can make other things. You can YouTube it. You can tell Mom, we are now home, let's cook together. I think unless there's something, where is the leader? I have done my work. The leader can come here and say something, and then we pray. Now I'm going to command the stage. You want me to pray first? Okay.
Good evening once again. This is one of the few moments when you have a long program and you're not tired. So we are very thankful for our elder, and I was talking with my elder, asking him that, we want to have this soon, because I know there's some people who didn't have maybe space to talk of, what they want to speak out. I'm sorry to say that, but yes, elders give us, the compliments that we need, but then sometimes we are shy to, ask questions and say what we think about things. So we were planning in February, after like 2 or 3 weeks, to have something on our own, and then also have say on these relationships that we're talking about. But all in all, we are thankful, and we are ready to have you again, Elder, be it online or in person. We'll be happy to have you again. Otherwise, we wanted to have a picture with you up here after a prayer. Otherwise, this is the end of our program, and we thank everyone, those ones on Zoom, YouTube, and those who came in person, the visitors. You can see people from KBC, and Kanombe Church, and the Melodies. God bless you so much for coming. So our elder can give us a word of prayer, and then we will have a picture with him, and then we'll call it a night. Thank you.
Okay. May I say after the closing, please? Let's all do
You're all welcome up here, and feel free to get a contact of your friends so that we keep the bond as a youth.